basically fired myself to obsolescence with AI, and it outperforms the real me by over 500%.
How do you see AI complementing what you're doing?
You are not leaning in and using artificial intelligence. You are already cooked. And if you're not getting mentorship, that's like trying to build a piece of IKEA furniture without a freaking manual. I thought I could do it all on my own. I didn't need any help from anybody. And it ended up taking me 104 face-to-face seller appointments, driving all over the state of Texas in 11 months before I was able to get my first deal.
No!
Yeah, you can't go out and travel for a month and come back with more money in your account, then you don't have a business, you have a job.
Welcome to the Deal Champs podcast. I'm your co-host, Strat Daddy. We have Mr. Captain America, and we have another amazing guest on today. I mean, you're just a beefy boy, bro. Like, I can't.
He's got the shoulders.
Right, you got the shoulders, looking like a real professional athlete. Mr. Nick
You're
Perry.
not from Texas, are you?
Dude, I'm from Virginia, but Texas still feels like home. That's where I built my company. So if you guys look at the wall back here, I've got the Texas artwork, the Texas flag on there. 11 years ago, this is where I built Want to Sell Now in Austin, Texas, and now we're here in Scottsdale, Arizona. It's been a journey. You can see I've got some of the different places I lived. I lived in Latin America, in Panama City, Panama. Lived in Cancun, Mexico. So yeah, real estate's been
built like a
pretty
bull.
good to me.
And Indeed. Way back, bro.
Yep.
Way back with the
That was
Indeed.
my last corporate job, was working at Indeed.com.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
All right, I have a bunch of questions for you. I've already asked you a bunch since I've been in your office. Thank you for having us here, bro.
We already had a whole podcast before we started.
I know. We already had a
We already asked them all the questions we really want to know.
I know. What are you doing with AI in your company right now?
Everything. I've basically fired myself to obsolescence with AI. So one example is, we just spoke about this before we started rolling, is AI has completely replaced me in all content. I didn't get into business to be some social media celebrity, but it ended up having to be part of the job, that you have to continually build your personal brand, produce content, and we know. I mean, if you guys see, we've got videographers, we've got multiple cameras, we've got lights. These guys had to travel here to do this. I don't have to do any of that anymore, because I can go ahead and literally have all my AI say what I needed to say, and I post content automatically. So if you look at my social media, it's pretty much all AI now, and most people can't even tell. And it outperforms the real me by over 500%.
That's crazy.
Yeah, so that's one example.
All right, let's dive into all of them, because that one is in the content space. What about in the real estate business?
In the real estate space, low-hanging fruit obviously is going to be like lead management, right? So lead management, we have some proprietary in-house tools that we've developed to be able to take leads and hit them as soon as they come in, gets on the phone, qualifies them, does a live transfer during business hours to our acquisitions teams, or if it's after hours, it will schedule a call back for them. And what it has allowed us to do is decrease our speed to lead, make sure that we're touching the leads as many times as possible in that window, with the most critical window, 48 hours, and follows up with all of our old leads as well. So it's we don't need to have setters or lead managers anymore. We've been able to replace that with AI.
So no one's really doing follow-up anymore? The reps are just on hot stuff?
Correct.
And the AI is handling everything else?
Correct. Yep. So then on HR, we're hiring like crazy. We're growing like crazy right now. And I had 6 girls working for me in my HR department, posting jobs on Indeed, screening resumes, sending emails to candidates to schedule interviews. A lot of just top of funnel stuff. Yeah. And I was able to develop AI workflow that does all that top of funnel recruiting. So I was able to take my recruiting team from 6 people down to 2.
That's sick.
Yeah.
From that lead management standpoint, what CRM do you guys use?
We use InvestorFuse, so we've been with those guys, since the beginning.
So Trevor has like a good API, I'm guessing.
Oh yeah.
On like the back end. And so like with the way that works for your proprietary thing, is it just timed to trigger and go through all those leads until someone picks up, and then it knows not to call someone if they've talked in the last 30 days?
Yeah, it's got all kinds of logic built in.
Yeah.
My COO and the CTO of InvestorFuse worked closely together
That's
to
sick.
develop that.
Because I've been trying to build something very similar with what we have going on, and I'll talk to you about more about it after this. And I think I have it down we don't have the lead management just down yet, but the speed to lead stuff we have down. Now we should implement that live transfer.
Yeah, but AI is going to eat everything. You know,
Oh, it's crazy.
where we are right now is
The worst it'll ever be.
worst it'll ever be. Yeah, this time, and it grows exponentially. It speeds up, right? So where we're going to be next year is going to be night and day from where we are right
How long
now.
you guys been using AI with the lead management side of follow up and?
It's been recent in the last 3 months. You know, I was having a lot of trouble with it. I've been experimenting with it for the last year, but I didn't really get a solid product market fit for what we're doing.
The last 3 months, it's came out to where I feel like it's been good enough to where I could expose it to something and I can trust it with the money, essentially.
Right.
Like, do I trust this thing with $500?
Correct.
Would be just like the framework.
Pat was just showing me some of the stuff he's using just this last week. How did you go about, you said you've been playing with it for a year, and AI is changing every week, every month, a lot, like you said. How have you kind of like pinpointed what tool to lean into and use? Because, you know, next month another tool comes out and it
Makes
blows
it
out one away.
obsolete, right?
Exactly, yeah.
Yeah, so I keep up with it. So I have daily newsletters I read every single day. I have multiple podcasts that I'm watching every single week. I probably ingest at least 2 to 3 hours of content of new information on the AI space every single day because it's that important as a business owner. Yeah.
Did you, I haven't seen the OpenAI thing that they just released. Have you learned anything about that yet?
Yeah, I've watched the whole dev day.
How was it? Like, is it, so I like Manus, because Manus to me is the only AI that's actually like agentic and can go do something for me. And I can program it to it, and then it'll code it out, and then it's done. So like, what is the new ChatGPT thing, or whatever they released? Is it like
Yesterday at Dev Day, they released what I thought was going to be the N8 and killer. So it's basically you can build,
N8N? Yeah.
right? But it was kind of underwhelming. But they have now released something really cool outside of that. So they have the ability now to every app, or a lot of apps now can connect to it. So Zillow, Booking.com, Expedia, all the apps that are on your phone will eventually be able to connect to OpenAI. So Amazon's coming next. So what they want to create is to where you never need to leave OpenAI.
Yeah.
You want to search for a 3-bedroom, 2-bathroom house in this neighborhood, and if it has a backyard and you just tell OpenAI, speak in natural language, and guess what? It's going to serve you up all the Zillow listings, and then you're going to have a real estate agent that's better than a real estate agent tell you why you should go toward this one or not that one, and that's the kind of experience that you're going to have with AI, and that's their goal, is to create an ecosystem that you never have to leave.
It's interesting to think about. Like, moving forward, all you're ever going to really do is talk. You're not really going to use websites anymore.
Yeah, I mean, you can code up an entire app and put it on the Apple App Store and not know how to code at all, and literally just go to Claude Sonnet 4.5 and just say, I want an app that does A, B, and C, and it'll code it up for you and tell the revisions you want, and then publish to Apple App Store.
So that's a good segue into your biggest lead source is PPC.
Correct.
You're the PPC king, right? You love PPC. You've been doing it since the beginning of your investing career. How do you see AI complementing what you're doing for your lead generation and your number one marketing source, or hindering you and making it harder? So what are you doing to try to get out ahead of that and still be on the cutting edge?
Yeah, well, this is why I read newsletters every single day. OpenAI, they just started putting job postings out for ad platform developer. They're going to start monetizing their traffic, and they're going to have an ads platform on ChatGPT.
Just like Facebook.
Just like Facebook.
And that's gonna be enormous, bro. If you can get, I know Trevor's talking about it a lot. He's like, how to get AI AdWords traffic, essentially. Because now, if you put in something in ChatGPT, and I look it up, it'll shoot me out like 5 different things that I could use.
Yeah.
And how can you rank inside ChatGPT? It's gonna be nuts.
So are you doing anything proactively right now to try to organically rank? Or is it just, hey, as soon as I'm going to be first customer for the paid ads. That's the way I've done things. That's the way I'm going to do things.
Yeah, I'll have first mover advantage in there. I mean, I'm literally refreshing my phone, waiting for it to come out. And Google, they are completely cannibalizing their entire business model. So Google Ads as we know it is completely changed. This year was the first year in 22 years Google has lost monthly users. So searches are down.
That's interesting.
Yeah, because it's gone to the AI search engines. Yeah. And so what did what did Google do is they made a very bold bet to cannibalize their core revenue center.
I think I know what you're going to say.
Yeah, so for the history of the internet, how is Google and all these big companies made money? They made money when you click links, right? Advertisers pay them to put their links and you click it and they make money. Well, now, if you go to Google now, you'll probably start seeing you get an AI recommendation. That completely cannibalizes their business model because you don't have to go outside of there.
To scroll down and click, like the answer that you want is likely there.
So we're moving from a blue link economy, historically you click on a blue link, you go somewhere, to a clickless economy where you stay on that platform. And now the Google search campaigns, which is where you'll click on a sponsored ad, is starting to get sunsetted. They're taking the majority of their AdWords developers and putting it into Performance Max and Demand Gen. So those two campaigns, Performance Max allows you to target an audience, and same thing with Demand Gen allows you to target an audience. Cool thing about Google is they know everything about everybody.
Oh yeah, they have all the data in the world.
They know more about you than your best friend or your spouse does. And you can target people very well just like you can on Meta. So now you're not trying to play the game where you're ranking on the actual homepage of Google. You're playing the game of how do I position my ad in front of the right avatar, which for us is motivated sellers.
How have you learned, how do you keep up with this? Like, do you have to pay someone when these new things come out, like a really good marketer?
I read, man. I'm like Warren Buffett. Like you guys, are here and you're like, you're probably like, what do you do all day? Because he asked me, are you actively involved in your real estate business? I'm like, I couldn't tell you a single property or address that we have. I don't know what the hell is going on with any of my properties. I've got my scorecard and I stay out of the way. So what do I do all day is I'm the visionary of the company. I'm the one that needs to take us to that next level. And how do you do that is, what does Warren Buffett do? He reads 4 to 6 hours a day.
K1s.
Yeah.
Or whatever it is. He just sits there and reads.
So I literally will sit and read, for 4 hours a day. And that's how I stay on top of things. And when I find a subject that's interesting, I go deep. I'll go pull up a bunch of stuff on ChatGPT. I'll watch a bunch of YouTube videos, and I make sure that I'm staying ahead and staying relevant and continuing doing R&D into my business.
What are your top 5 things that you like to consume podcast-wise?
I love Peter Diamandis' Moonshot podcast for AI. I like the All In podcast. Those are my top 2. If you don't watch any, there's a lot of other really good AI podcasts. Riley Brown is really good for just hands-on, showing you how to do really cool stuff with AI.
Okay.
So if you like to actually get your hands dirty, then Riley Brown. But I would start with Peter Diamandis' Moonshot podcast and then the All In podcast as well.
I went to the summit. You got to come with me next year, bro. It was sick.
Oh, I'm there.
I went to it, bro. It was insane.
Did he tell you about it yet?
No.
I haven't.
It seemed pretty wild.
I met the dude who sold AdWords to Google.
No way.
I got a NAD IV with him.
Of all people, you would have liked to meet that guy.
I would have loved to be there.
Bro, super smart guy. And then his next company that he's working on right now is AI AdWords. And he was like, no, I see it. We're already going to make a bunch of money. And he lives down in San Diego, dude. The quality of people that I met there and just impressive people, it was awesome. But I will go every year.
That is, yeah. You let me know the dates. I'll be there.
It'll be next September. I'm trying to get Dean to go with me. I tried to get him to go with me this time.
I had too much travel, but maybe next year. We'll probably go.
All right, so we got those ones. What books are you reading right now? Because you are a huge reader. Or are you more newsletter?
I'm more newsletter, what's going on right now. I haven't read a full book cover to cover since To Kill a Mockingbird in 7th grade. So,
all Audible?
No, I haven't read a book.
At all?
No. So I'm reading.
Why don't you like to read a physical book?
I'm your classic entrepreneur. I'm just ADHD going 100 miles an hour. So
it puts me to sleep. I can't sit there, but if it's an interesting topic if I'm watching a video on it, like from the author themselves, like Dan Martell, Buy Back Your Time.
Great
Love
book.
that book.
Yep.
I would watch video after video of him talking about it. I listened to the Audible while working out and just like hit it from a couple different angles. But to read the book, just can't bring myself to do it, you know?
Correct. And for me, the way that my life is paced out, I can only do like a full audiobook if I'm on a plane or something like that.
What about on the stairs? I know you hit the stairs a lot.
Stairs, I'm constantly on YouTube, but my YouTube is curated with things that are going to, enhance my life or my business in whatever area that I'm working on at that time.
I wasn't using YouTube for like at all. I wasn't even like just goofing around on it. And it was like the past couple years I finally untapped, like, dude, there's just so much gold on there. If you narrow the focus for exactly what you're looking for at that time, you can just find endless gold in there. It's so good.
Incredible. I mean, it's changed the world. I was a high school dropout, but I got my PhD at YouTube University is what I like to say. So it's been a game changer for my business, and anything that you want to figure out is literally right here. We're living in the best age in time to go out and be an entrepreneur and make money.
And what AI do you use the most?
I use OpenAI's ChatGPT. I use Grok. I use Gemini. I was using Gemini last night because one of the coolest features they have on Gemini is you can go and take you can pull and share your screen on it, and then you can point it at whatever. So like last night, my Ninja Creamy ice cream maker was broken and couldn't figure out how to fix it. So I literally had it on there, and I was like, how do I fix this? And so,
bro, let's go.
Yeah. So these are the kinds of things, like I use it for everything. Like if something's messed up on my computer, like my monitor was fuzzy the other day. So I pull up Gemini and I'm like, how do I fix this monitor? And it was like, okay, go into display resolution, do X, Y.
Oh, I haven't used Gemini like that because I use the other ones.
I didn't know Gemini was like that.
Yeah.
That's sick.
Yeah, so I use that, and then just throughout my day, I'm using it as my writing partner, my business coach, anything. Uploading files to it, getting analysis on anything from P&Ls to blood work to whatever I need.
From like a business coach standpoint, and I've had to work like and make prompts with this for my AI. I don't want it to be a yes man. I want it just to tell me like the right answers. What have you done to like prompt it to not get the you're absolutely right, you're brilliant. Like I don't need every idea to be brilliant. I just need you to tell me where I'm wrong and where I should think about it better.
Yeah. So within the settings of your ChatGPT, there's a personalization tab. You need to go into personalization
and then you
copy
fill that prompt.
You fill that prompt. I'll send you guys the prompt. Maybe you can put it into the show notes here. But I'll give you the prompt that I use that makes ChatGPT like 10 times better. So it's not, being a yes man and giving.
Yeah, because it's a real issue. Because you could go crazy. Because it's just
People
telling you
have.
you're right. People have gone crazy from it because it keeps telling you you're right, you're right, you're right, you're right. And then like, oh shit. And then because at the beginning I was like, damn, I'm fucking smart. And then I start to hear like all these other people like, bro, all ChatGPT tells me is I'm right. I'm like, oh god damn it, I got to reevaluate everything that I've been throwing into this thing, and then go back, prompt it right, so I don't go out and make
And one thing I'll also do, especially if it's an important thing that I'm doing, is I'll take whatever I'm researching. I'll open up OpenAI. I'll open up Grok. I'll open up Gemini, and I'll open up Perplexity, and I'll get 4 answers, and then I'll take all 4 answers, and I'll make them debate versus each other to try to get to the.
That's really smart. That's I like that. I like that one a lot. Which one usually comes out on top?
It goes back and forth. Gemini and Grok actually give me the best. Like when it's really serious topic I need to date, Gemini and Grok seem to be giving me the best answers right now. But they leapfrog each other all the time. So by the time this podcast comes out, it might be, OpenAI. It might. Who knows?
Yeah, they're competing like crazy.
Yeah.
I trust Grok the most. I trust Grok.
It'll tell you like it is, yeah.
I don't.
But the crazy thing is we have such a lobotomized version of AI. Like what they have internally.
Oh yeah.
Is significantly more powerful than what we even have. Yeah.
I definitely believe that.
Yeah, because they don't have enough compute to give us the real stuff that they have internally. Yeah. And additionally, they have so many safety and guardrail things on it. So
the safety and guardrail shit is crazy. Because the other day, a squirrel was eating oranges out of our backyard. And me and Zeno watch Alone, this TV show where like 12 people go to an island. They got to survive for like 75 days with 10 items. And I was like, Zeno, we're going to make a squirrel trap. And so I put in how to make a squirrel trap into ChatGPT, and it wouldn't tell me.
Because they don't want you to harm animals.
They didn't want you to harm animals. Wow. Right? And so it's like something that you wouldn't think would be that bad. It's like, no, we can't tell you.
You wouldn't think that would be off limits. But
You wouldn't think it would be off limits, but it was 100%
Yeah, think about the Elon Musk and Sam Altman, the guys that have the, completely uncensored versions of
uncensored
this.
PhD and everything.
Yeah.
Can really tell you how to solve some serious problems. That one's crazy. I am a 100% AI doomer. If you don't make money in 10 years, you're screwed.
Oh, you're toast.
You're toast.
Listen, guys, if you are not leaning in using artificial intelligence, you are already cooked. You are already done. The only people that are going to make it in this new economy is going to be people that own businesses and that own assets. If you've got a 9-to-5 right now, you better be figuring out what you're going to do, because it's coming for every job, every industry, and you better get ahead and stay prepared for it, because it's there's no getting out of it.
It's coming fast.
So leading up to now, AI is the future. You're already spearheading a lot of that stuff, and I can see it. What has allowed you to stay so consistent in business over all these years? You've been in business
That's a
how many
great
years?
question.
11 years.
11 years. So since the early days of me getting in, I've been seeing you doing your thing, and you know, once you know everybody in the business, everybody knows each other and talks. Like, you've consistently been one of the guys at the top. How have you stayed so consistent over all these years? What's up, Deal Champs? I hope you're enjoying the podcast. I want to take a second to tell you a little bit more about the Deal Champs community. If you're looking to be around other real estate investors doing deals with the common goal of building a business of freedom to live the life you want to live, then you need to get the right information to be successful and the support to do it. If that sounds like you, Deal Champs community is the right fit. Just head over to dealchamps.com to learn more and apply. Now let's get back to the podcast. Let's go.
Dude, I'm certifiably unemployable. I can't work for anybody. I've got to do things myself, and I've always had, that like seed of greatness where it's like, I don't know what I'm gonna do, but like I want to be world class at whatever I put.
It's gonna be fucking big.
Yeah, whatever I put my mind to, I'm gonna give it 110%, and so that's what I've done in my career.
But how have you stayed focused?
Yeah,
think
what's
about
the
how
secret sauce for you?
All three of us lost so much money in those fucking e-com stores. Mm-hmm. Would be like one thing. Like, and like you'll see out of our friend groups, someone will chase kind of just like a shiny object that isn't a bigger opportunity. It's the same sized opportunity, and then they divert their attention, and then now they kind of flounder on both of them. So how have you stayed focused, really, on real estate the whole time? Because you did like the oil stuff, but you didn't try and operate oil. You just invested in oil.
Correct.
Right? So how have you stayed locked in on the real estate stuff the way you have?
Really, it just comes down to like, I think I'm just too stubborn to quit. And also, like for the first 6 years of my career, I didn't do anything except for wholesale houses, just wholesale. I didn't flip. I didn't do rentals. I didn't do Airbnb. I didn't do anything. I was just kind of a one-trick pony. And I'm a firm believer that if you don't have that singular focus to become the best at something, and you don't see it all the way through until you become the best at it, that's how you're going to treat the rest of your life. You're going to have just a bunch of half-ass, projects going on. You're never going to be great at anything. So I would rather specialize and be great at one thing than half-ass at, 5 things.
I call it maniacal focus. It's like the thing I always tell Dan about. Like,
That's my new word I've been like plugging into myself. He said maniacal the other day, and I'm like, I need to be maniacal.
100%. Like that's been the biggest blessing for me, is that I'm just very stubborn and focused. I see a lot of guys come in and they get shiny object syndrome and they fizzle out of business, which you don't want to have happen to you. So takes longer than you think to become great at something.
Yeah.
So you talk about being stubborn, but I've also seen you be like first to market on certain things. You were big into investor lift when they first got started, and a big part of growing that and making that big.
You really were. You were like first to market on that.
So a big part of success is being able to trust your gut and make contrarian bets and being able to see things before other people can see them. So, with Investor Lift, that was a software that it made sense to me. And so I didn't have to go check with anybody else, see what everybody else was doing. It was the same thing when I went nationwide in PPC. I was I think the first person to do nationwide PPC. And it was against my mentor's advice. I was in a lot of masterminds. I had a lot of great business coaches, and all of them told me, do not do this. Like, it's literally suicide for your business. You need to stay in your local markets. You need to go deep and actually build an infrastructure, a buyer's list. And I said, no, I saw the path that I was like, I'm getting leads at 10% of the cost when I'm going national. And I'm not going out to these houses anyways. I'm doing everything over the phone. If I could just connect the dots on how to move these deals efficiently, it's going to open up the floodgates for deals. And so against, all of my mentor's advice, I said, no, I'm going to make a contrarian bet. And so you got to just have the balls to be able to make big bets in business and trust your instincts over anything.
Do you listen to the Founders podcast at all?
I've listened to it before, but not religiously yet.
That one, because like Rockefeller's biggest thing was like, you need to be the first to adopt technology, and you need to overinvest in technology.
100%.
Because it will just pay dividends. It may not pay dividends now, but you're just going to slowly leave everybody in the dust over time, and your margins will get greater and greater and greater.
Correct. And right now is the most important time. Like, you guys better be getting into learning about all the new stuff coming out, because it's moving so quickly, and you're about to be like, you guys probably make fun of your older relatives and your grandma because she doesn't know how to use apps and stuff. Well, you're going to become that very quickly if you don't get on the ball right now. So that's my one of my biggest focus is to make sure that I'm staying on top of that, because I know it will pay dividends.
Yeah, because Investor Lift, especially for your business model, was like the most no-brainer. How long were you nationwide when that happened?
I was nationwide for about 2 years, and I had 1.8 million buyers living in Google Sheets that I would have to sift and sort through. So the original deal that I did with them was actually just like, hey, I need you to clean up all my data, all my buyers, validate all the phone numbers. I need you to geotag all these people, so I don't have to go into Google Sheets and try to extract people from each market. I can, so it just was a way to clean up my data. And then I saw the roadmap and the vision they had to build out the company, and it was very early. They asked me to invest in the company, and I bet on the founder, and I said, yeah, let's do it. So I ended up taking a stake in that company.
I didn't know you had equity in that. That's sick.
Yeah.
There we go. What you want to talk about what you're excited about outside of real estate that you're going to start doing?
Yes. Like I just told you guys, if you do not own businesses and you do not own assets, you are done. So that needs to be your biggest focus from now over the next 10 years. As AI and the world evolves, you're not going to be able to keep up with it. But if you have real estate, you have actual tangible assets, whether it's stocks, precious metals, things like that, or own businesses, you will end up becoming very, very wealthy in this new economy. So my singular focus right now is, how do I acquire more quality real estate assets, and how do I acquire boring businesses? Because I'm good at operating boring businesses, and I'm good at operating real estate. Those are my two areas of competency. I don't know anything about precious metals or stocks. Yeah. I know a little bit, but not enough to really go out. So I'm going to take what I already do, and I'm going to keep doing more of it. So right now we're starting a private equity fund for accredited investors that are looking to have an operator that can go and do this hands-off for you. Because I know a lot of people, they are high net worth individuals, but they don't have the business know-how to run a business day to day. They don't know how to go find these properties, fix them up, deal with all the headaches that come along with building a large portfolio. So we're going to spearhead that for people that want to invest and want to grow their net worth passively.
You said that you'd only been wholesaling for the first 6 years, been doing 11 years. How has that plan shifted? And you just said you're looking to acquire quality assets. What type of real estate are you looking to buy?
Yeah, good properties, like good single family homes in good school districts, brick on slab properties, not 1940s houses, in the hood. We're not looking for, Section 8 cash flow, things like that. We're looking to be able to get properties that continue to appreciate over time in good markets with strong job growth that will be something that you would be proud to pass down to your grandkids. That's how I built my portfolio all the way through. I think if you're out there and you're chasing cash flow, you're probably buying a lot of junk. All of my properties, they break even. I don't have to pay into my portfolio, but they double, sometimes even triple in value over the course of 10 to 15 years. And they'll provide me not only with positive net worth gain every single year, but they're going to allow me to reduce my tax liability as well. And that's how, the reason why real estate has created more millionaires than any other industry is because of that, right? You only need a handful of houses to be a multi-millionaire, because those houses are going to pay off, and the appreciation on them over 10, 20, 30 years is going to make you a multi-millionaire. You don't need that much. And if you're buying good quality stuff, it's not going to be a headache, and it's going to go up in value.
So B class and above, like Henry Washington's like this too. He's like, I sold off all our shit.
Yeah.
I just want B class, A class. It's in a great neighborhood. I will outpace. He's a little bit crazier at times. Like, bro, I'll buy one that doesn't make a lot of money or it loses money, but it's a trophy, bro. I'm in the best neighborhood ever, and I'm appreciating it 10%, 20% a year. Like,
I do too.
I don't care.
Yeah, I mean, we have stuff like, we have properties that cash flow negative $200-$300 a month, but then we'll make it up. Property will, positively cash flow after maintenance, vacancy, all the, true net, like $200 or $300 a month. So I make sure that I have, I'm very conservative with our rentals. I make sure we always have money in maintenance escrow. We're accounting for worst case scenarios with, vacancy, tenant, issues. We have professional property management on everything. So we're making sure that we are buying quality assets. We have enough in reserves, and we don't have to pay into our portfolio. But I'm not looking to chase cash flow.
All right, so I wanted to ask you
Yeah.
about businesses. We touched on it earlier, and I think that all of us are guilty of, when we start making money and getting momentum in our business, we think we're really good at that, and we want to get into some other things, right? And so we talked about the e-com stores. A lot of us lost money on that, and that's just because the business itself, the business model just failed. I've seen you get into other businesses. How have those worked out for you? What lessons have you learned? What have you learned that you like and you don't like? Why don't you tell us a little bit about that?
Yeah, biggest lesson that I've learned is don't trust other people with your money so much, because I've gone in, I've invested on other people's ideas, I've invested into, things that I haven't done myself. So now, like, if I'm going to do something, I'm 100% owner of it.
You're going to
Win, lose, or draw. So I will not go out and invest in an e-commerce store. I won't go out and put money into somebody else's company.
Yeah.
Yeah, and somebody else's venture. I will
Where
go
do you
out and buy a
think-
business, but I'm going to own that business. I'm going to make sure that it's under my direct control.
Where do you think you fucked up with like vetting the people you're investing in? Like I was talking to at the All In Summit, talking to these VCs about how can you actually vet a founder and know that they're even going to be able to fucking pull it off when you are investing into these people. Like if you are doing oil, if you are doing e-com, or even like real estate stuff, to where they are going to pony up. Like we've had deals go south and we've had to write checks. Like fuck, these guys are going to be made whole. I don't have to worry about it. They don't have to worry about it. No matter what, I will cut off my hand. They will get their money.
Right.
Right. So how were you thinking about evaluating when you're investing in those people, evaluating them that way, or like what was your thought process?
Yeah, I mean, I've lost money in more ventures that we'd be sitting here for the next 3 hours talking about places.
Oh yeah.
So if I had that answer, I would be a top VC at this
you'd be
point.
the one.
But you just continue to do the things that all the great VCs do, right? Not only are you looking for your tremendous track record of success, and you're doing background checks and you're getting references, but you want to see a clear roadmap and make sure that you know exactly where your funds are going, and try to get as much transparency as possible. A lot of it comes down to instincts and intuition, though, which you learn. You're either born with it or you learn it through getting your ass handed to you over and over and over again.
I don't like investing in other people's things because I feel like I can get better returns with something I can control.
Mm-hmm.
Do you feel the same way? And where you're like, hey, I just don't have enough time. I have them sitting on a bunch of money. I know I need to get this out of the account and get it to start making money.
That's typically the motivation for me to invest, into different ventures. But I've always learned that just stick to your core competency. Like, what do I know? I know, how to operate boring, sales and marketing businesses, and I know how to do, real estate very well. And so I just stay in my lane, and I can do that without having to go out and place money now. That's
Yeah.
yeah.
All right, I got more for you.
I got a personal question for you.
Yeah.
As a curious mind, for somebody who's sitting in my position right now, based on the volume of deals, the top line revenue, the bottom line revenue, for someone that wants to get to where you're at right now, and how you've scaled your business, what are kind of like the step-by-step processes you've gone through? And I know you've been doing this for 11 years, so maybe you were there early. Maybe it took you a little bit of time to get there and figure it out. You can share that as well. But what are the key fundamental steps to set yourself up in a position to scale to the level that you're at with top line and bottom line revenue?
Yeah, first of all, it was not an overnight success. I was very hard-headed in the beginning. I thought I could do it all on my own. I didn't need any help from anybody. And it ended up taking me 104 face-to-face seller appointments, driving all over the state of Texas, in 11 months before I was able to get my first deal.
That's
So-
fucking
140 in 11 months. I tell people that all the time, right? People that come to the coaching program and they're like, hey, how quickly can I have, success and find results? It's like, dude, we have some members that get a deal in their first week,
Mm-hmm.
and then some it just takes longer. And then I'll always use stories like Austin Rutherford, where it took him 18 months to do his first deal. And now I'm learning today it took you 11 months
Mm-hmm.
and actually
get
do it.
kicked in the fucking balls.
140 appointments is a lot of
Oh my
appointments.
God.
104, but
What were
it
you
was
doing?
literally
104.
driving and getting kicked out of every kitchen table.
Yeah.
And
Right, walking
Yeah.
in, spitting on their feet.
To
Sell me
get
your
your
house.
first deal. To get your first deal.
yes.
That's took a lot longer than probably you thought it would.
Correct. But in hindsight, if you took it all away from me right now, I could get it all back in 6 months. But it's because I've, invested in mentorship and, I've got experience. So, if you're watching this right now and you want to know, how can I go from where I am, maybe you haven't done a deal before, to, getting up to like multiple 7 figures, here's your playbook right here. So if you took it all away from me, all I got is my cell phone and don't have any of my contacts, and I have to figure out how am I going to go from 0 to $1 million. First thing I'm going to do is I'm going to get leads coming to me first. That's the number one thing. If you don't have lead flow coming in, you're not in business. Once you got leads coming in, now you're in business. So first order of business, I wouldn't go out, get my LLC. I wouldn't worry about business cards, none of that crap. I'd take phone calls to my cell phone, and I would start making offers to motivated sellers. And the marketing that I would choose would be inbound PPC and PPL. And I actually tell everybody, I can teach PPC. I've taught it to a lot of people, but if I got the gun up against my head, I'm just getting PPL leads coming to me.
Yeah.
And I'm making offers to motivated sellers. Get an education. Plug in with guys like Stratton, guys like Dean that are actually doing this. Because putting together a business, can you figure it out on YouTube and free resources? Yeah, but that's like trying to build a piece of IKEA furniture with a bunch of different manuals, right? Like, just get the manual from the guys that already have it. And if you're not getting mentorship, that's like trying to build a piece of IKEA furniture without a freaking manual. It's going to be all jacked up.
Mm-hmm.
So it's better to do it right the first time with guidance and mentorship. So if I had to go from 0 to $1 million, plug in with a really good mentor, get lead flow coming in. Once I've got properties under contract, deals assigned and things like that, and preferably deals closed, then I'm going to go ahead and start figuring out how can I get leverage in this business. Because if it's you doing everything, you're doing the sales, the acquisitions, the marketing, the dispo, everything, you're not going to be able to scale past more than like maybe 4 to 6 deals a month. It gets super
That'd be
chaotic.
crazy. 4 to 6 deals a month, if it's just you, bro,
Yeah, that is a lot.
When are you talking to people? Like, cause like,
Yeah.
bro, that's a lot of transactions. That's a lot of
That would be
escrow.
a lot to do.
Exactly. So how are you?
Couple deals a month is busy
Yes, it is.
as a solo entrepreneur.
Yes, it is. So, you're going to have to get some help. So the first hire that I bring in would be an acquisitions rep to come in and be able to take lead flow alongside with you and basically apprentice and help follow up. And then once you got them to a point where they're doing really well, I'd bring in another acquisition. So now you've got 2 acquisitions, and you've been able to basically step away from taking inbound seller calls as much. And now you're focused on selling the deals and doing the transactions. And then the business kind of scales from there. And then you start building your dispositions and transactions team. And, then you have department heads that are team leads on each side. And then it just kind of grows to where we're at right now. I mean, that's been the evolution.
So thinking past the getting started and scaling there, how would you say you could go from $3 million to $6 million?
That comes down to having really good leadership in your business. So my business didn't really start scaling until I had my CEO and my COO, right? And then to get up to where we are now, we have another director that oversees everything, and they're very high level people. So you can't be the bottleneck in your business. If you're the sole decision maker, if you're the one that's hiring and firing, and you're dealing with all the major heat cases that come up in your business isn't going to scale to 6 million. You need people that can make high level decisions on your behalf, whether you're there or not. And so your job as the owner at that point just becomes, how do I hire and retain top talent? How do I make sure that my business continues to grow and stay ahead? So that's why I read so much. And how do I grow the culture as well? So that's really my job in my real estate business. Is I pour into the culture. I'm almost just like the cheerleader that pays the bills.
Mm-hmm. Shout out Brandon, bro.
Yeah.
Shout out Brandon. Brandon's the man. Bro, you've been successful ever since I met you. I think I met you when I was 23, 24. And you stepped out of the business probably soon after I met you, right? Like when we met at that conference.
Mm-hmm. Talk
about how out there, when you stepped out, do you feel like you became a sloth? Because I know a guy, he's selling a company for $50 million, an HVAC company out in Southern California. He's like, I stepped out one time and I became a drunk because I now had all this free time in the world. I started going to the bar at 4. Then I started going to the bar at 3. Then I started going to the bar at 2 because I had nothing else to do in my day. And then one day I find myself at the bar at 10 a.m. I was like, what am I doing? So talk about why you decided to move back to America and that evolution of okay, I stepped out, I lived that life, but you probably realized bro, I just want to build shit. I don't really want to sit around.
Before you answer that, do you feel like you stepped out when you moved to Mexico?
Oh yeah, I was checked out.
Okay.
For sure. So I left my business for 4 years. So I promoted Brandon to the CEO of my company. And so that meant get out of the way and let him run. So I moved to Miami, Florida. I lived in South Beach for a while. And then I had an opportunity to move out of the country. I found a really nice place in Panama City, Panama. I lived in a full floor, 11,000 square foot penthouse on the 54th story in Panama City, overlooking the Panama Canal and the Pacific Ocean. And yeah, it was great. I had, maids, drivers, chefs, all the modern.
It was great, bro. I get it.
Yeah, but and then I lived in Cancun. I traveled to all 7 continents. All that to say it was a fucking great time, man. I enjoyed every second of it. Did I become a sloth? No. I still went to the gym every day. I still read. I still, did things to stimulate my, mental, physical, and spiritual well-being. But was I living up to my full potential? Absolutely not. I'm a firm believer to retire is to expire. Why is it that when men retire and then they try to get a life insurance policy, it's 3 times higher? Because the underwriters know that if you're not actively pursuing something, mentally, physically, spiritually, you are going to die.
Yeah.
So as
You're
men,
not growing, you're dying.
as men, we have to continue to grow it. And if you're not, you're doing a disservice to yourself, your family, your employees, everybody around you. Like my core philosophy and what I've learned through that time being like quote unquote retired is that I use the analogy, especially for men, we are like trees, right? We are meant to grow and bear fruit, right? So if you are not growing and bearing fruit, then you're going to wither away and die. And how much is too much fruit to bear? Like, dude, if you got enough for yourself and for your family, well, guess what? Now you can go out and start really making a difference and impacting the world in a bigger, better way. And that's the goal, is to maximize the amount of fruit that you can bear while you're on this planet. I'm a firm believer that that's what God wants you to do while we're here. And if you're still here, you're watching this, your heart's beating, God's got more for you, so step up and do your best.
But talk about the time when your ex-girlfriend just blew up your whole business.
Oh, that happened a bunch of times. Right? So listen,
A bunch of times.
Yeah, so listen, here's one lesson I want to leave you guys with. If you keep having the same thing happen to you in business, you have a business partnership fall through. You can't, seem to get past this certain level of deal flow in a month. A lot of times it has nothing to do with the X's and O's of how you're running your business. It has to do with something psychologically or spiritually that is blocking you from getting to that next level. And a lot of it stems from like childhood trauma, right? So through my 20s, I dated the same crazy chick over and over and over again. And I broke myself, and I literally went to a lady that specializes in how to break yourself from dating crazy chicks. And I got cured of dating crazy girls, so praise God. But yeah, through my 20s, I mean, I'll give you a quick story. The one that you're asking about is when I first started my real estate investing business, I was about 2 years in, and I met this girl, beautiful girl. I met her on one of the apps, Bumble or Tinder or whatever, and she was a sales rep at Oracle. She was crushing it there. I was like, okay, this girl seems like she's got her shit together. Well, time goes by, and she gets laid off at Oracle, and she's looking for another job. I said, well, just take the phones, for me while I'm at my day job, because I was working at Indeed at the time.
Okay.
I was making $250,000 a year at Indeed. I was making another $400,000 a year in real estate. I was rocking out for the early part of my career, and had a high-rise penthouse downtown Austin, brand new cars, brand new furniture, everything. And she's taking the phone calls for me. I was like, just stay at my house. You can stay here and take calls. And she was kind of staying with me for a few months. And long story short, took her down to Cancun, Mexico. She was a train wreck. She was drinking, partying, smoking weed. I was like, I got to break up with this girl. She's whacked out of her mind. So I was like, all right, I know when I get back, I got to break up with her because this girl's no good. So I get back, and I was only dating this girl for, I think, when it was all said and done, 11 months. So get back to Austin. I go, and after work one day, I break up with her. I was like, hey, listen, I'm going on a trip. Just get everything out. I'll be back on Friday. Just make sure everything's good. And I knew she wasn't going to take it well. So I gave her $12,000 cash. And I was like, here's $12,000 cash. Get a down payment on an apartment or whatever. Just can't do this anymore. So I roll out, and I was hoping that her shit would be gone on Friday. Well, Friday I get back to my office, and I'm at Indeed, and the receptionist is like, hey, you've got a visitor. And there's a guy on a bike with a bike helmet. I was like, I didn't order any fucking DoorDash or Uber Eats. Comes over to me, are you Nick Perry? I was like, yeah, what's up? He's like, you've been served. Hit me with a manila envelope. I look at it, I was like, what the hell have I been served for? I was like, did I get sued on a property or something? And it said, state of Texas and this girl's name versus Nick Perry for divorce. These were divorce papers that I pulled out. And I'm like, dude, I've only been dating this girl 11 months.
And
How do you
tried to get you with the
common law?
Common law.
I knew nothing about it. Like I said, I'm just a normal guy from Virginia. That was my welcome to Texas present right there. And I knew nothing about common law. It was very foreign to me, and I was like, what do you mean? And then she was smart. She ended up also being able to file a temporary restraining order, so I couldn't get access to my my penthouse or any of my belongings or any of my vehicles. And I just came back from a trip, so all I had was like my backpack. I had to call my boy and be like, yo, we got to go to Walmart and get a cell phone charger, toothbrush, everything, because I can't go home.
Wow.
And
That's wild.
long story short, I ended up fighting it because it was a huge injustice. I was like, oh, I'm going to beat this. This is BS. So hired the best family law attorney, ended up spending all my money to try to beat the case. She had an attorney that was her uncle, and so they just bled me dry in court, and I ended up having to pay a ridiculous sum of money, like half of my net worth over to her.
No.
Yeah, so I've been divorced. I was divorced and I was never married. Before I was ever married.
I didn't know it was that fucking bad. Oh
Yeah.
my God.
At that time, I had like, I don't know, it was like 180K saved up, and I had all these stuff.
How could somebody literally do that to somebody?
It's Texas law.
I know, but how could you actually go through with trying to do something like that? It just doesn't make sense.
Hell hath no fury like a woman scorned, bro.
That's very true. But I got through it. The key is when life knocks you down and you have a catastrophic event or something like that happen to you, is that you continue to just keep going every single day. So like, even as I was going through that mess, like I was still talking to sellers, I was still putting out offers, I was still slaying deals at Indeed, and that's what kept me going, because I had a pipeline, I had deals closing, and so I was able to rebound pretty quickly over the course of like 6 months. I was back on same place I was.
That's an insane story.
Right. I think it's time for one more question.
I wanted to come back to traveling the world and having a kid. Okay, so it's been really fun to watch you traveling the world and seeing these different experiences you're having, and just living that life of freedom. How soon did you know that that's something that you wanted to do, and what have you taken away from traveling the world, and maybe even touch on living in Mexico and why you came back? I don't think we didn't necessarily answer why you came back, but you want to just touch on traveling and Mexico.
You have to travel. You have to get out of your hometown. You got to get out of your state. You got to get out of the country. You got to get off this continent, because you create more neural pathways and understanding when you travel than anything else you can do. More than any book you read, more than any video you watch. You're going to learn so much about human nature, the world, how things operate. You guys probably will sit there and think you know it because you see National Geographic and Discovery Channel. You don't know it until you actually experience it. And when you travel, the world becomes smaller too. Like, it's impacted not only like the way that I perceive other people and how I relate to them, but it's impacted my business. I told you earlier, like I hire a lot of people from South Africa now, because I actually went to South Africa and spent time with the people there, right? It's my number one core value over everything is freedom. Freedom is my number one core value. Money is just a way to get freedom. And so freedom to me is being able to go where you want, as long as you want, with who you want, and you get to say when you're going to come back. So that was a big thing for me before I had success. Was I wanted to be able to travel and experience the world and all the best that the world has to offer. And so that's been a constant quest for me, because it allows you to for me, it makes me feel like I've maximized my time on this earth. Like, if I don't go out and see something, I feel like I kind of got that FOMO a little bit. Yeah. So.
I love your post where you're like, if you're not out traveling on a Monday, then you don't have a real business.
That's correct. If you can't go out and travel for a month and come back with more money in your account, then you don't have a business, you have a job. And so you better work on that.
I love that. Okay, so what made you move to Mexico, live that lifestyle? What made you move back? You're back in Scottsdale.
Yeah, I mean, Mexico was absolutely incredible. I lived right on the beach in Mexico, had a great time. But the fact of the matter is I was 36 years old. I had traveled the globe. I've been on the beach enjoying myself. And how many times can you ride a freaking jet ski? Is what it comes down to. I got to a point that I realized God's got more for me. And if I just sit here, can I build my businesses, from Mexico? Yes. But if I really want to see what I'm capable of and maximize my full potential, then it's time to go back in for another season to build it to where I know that I can go. So I'm in that season right now. And I think that life comes in seasons, right? I'm in Scottsdale, Arizona right now, and this is a season for me. I tell everybody that this is a 3-year desert deployment for me. And then where will I be after that? I don't know. Once I get done with this deployment, then I'll figure it out. I might end up going to another country and living for a while, but it just depends. But I think there's certain seasons where you got to really lock in and focus on a certain task at hand, and you got to go all in. You can't just half-ass it. So it was time to get back here and take it to the next level.
How has getting married and having a kid changed your day-to-day, your goals? What has that done for your life?
Yeah, so for all the men watching this, if you don't have kids, what a kid will do for you is it's going to give you another gear of motivation that you don't already have. Like I've always been disciplined, motivated to go out and accomplish my goals well before I had a child. But when you find out that now you're responsible for another human life, it like kicks another level of responsibility and wanting to step up. So that's what having that, and then just having like a actual family, man, that means the world to me. I feel like my life is complete. Like before I had a family, I was always chasing for something. But now I'm not chasing for anything. I have everything I need. I'm so grateful. And I get to pass my thoughts and everything that I've learned down to the next generation, which is a really cool thing.
That's cool then.
Yeah.
For sure.
Mm-hmm.
Awesome. Anything else you want to end with?
That's all, bro. Thank you so much for your time, bro. Thanks for having us over at your office.
Of course, man.
I always love chatting it up with you, dude, because you're one of the realest dudes I know in the space. I'm always learning something when I'm talking to you. I'm always energized and excited. So thanks for having us at your office.
Same, man. Appreciate you guys coming
Yeah,
by.
Absolutely.
Thank you, bro.
Thanks, guys. Absolutely.